Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that deep down, part of you actually doesn't want to succeed? Like, yeah, you want the results. You want more freedom, more income, more opportunities, right? But when it comes time to go all in, like actually go hard on your business or fully commit to the thing that you know will get you there, you freeze like a deer in the headlights. You procrastinate, you hesitate, and you start looking for random distractions like watching YouTube, clearing your emails, or tweaking your logo for the fifth time. And if you're being honest, it's not because you're lazy, and it's not even because you don't actually want it. It's that part of your mind quietly believes that if I really succeed, it will cost me my freedom. It will cost me the good life I actually want. And that conflict between your vision of success and your vision of freedom is why you keep getting stuck doing just enough to feel productive, but not enough to actually change anything. So let's unpack this, because once you see what's really happening behind that conflict, this whole thing is going to be way easier to shift. So the real reason most high performers slow themselves down is because they associate success with stress. They associate success with working long hours, sacrificing weekends, and doing things that they don't really enjoy doing. And somewhere along the way, they picked up this unconscious rule that if I want to be rich or if I want to be successful, I'm going to have to work 10 plus hours a day and give up that very freedom that I actually crave. So what do? They start sabotaging themselves. They slow down. Or they pick goals that are impressive, but they're also so big that they don't feel any urgency to pursue them because they don't believe they can attain them anytime soon. So rather, they work on things that feel productive, but don't really accomplish anything. And secretly, they resent the idea of going all in because, again, their nervous system is wired to believe that success equals stress, that success equals hustle, burnout, and losing my freedom. And if you believe that even slightly, you're going to keep playing small. You'll keep putting things off. And it simply won't matter how much mindset work you do or how clear your goals are. Because on a nervous system level, you're not resisting the outcome. You're resisting the imagined cost of it. And if that's you, I want you to think about it. Like, where do you think this story came from? Because for most people, it wasn't a conscious choice. You may have seen someone close to you who wanted freedom and always talked about big dreams, but never actually chased them. Like a parent, for example, who always said they would make it one day, but you never actually saw them take real action toward it. And without meaning to, you may have picked up that pattern. Yearning for more, not being satisfied, but not going full out, fearing the consequences. So now, even if you've got the drive, something still holds you back. And you're carrying that association with you even as you try to build something better. Even if you want more, something in you still equates chasing it with potential disappointment or risk. And until you rewrite that association, you will feel a lot of resistance every time you go for it, every time you try to take real action. And this is where it gets a little tricky, because this whole unconscious conflict leads us to what I call the dream life dilemma, right? Because most people in 2025 no longer just want material or financial success anymore. They want total freedom. I mean, just think about your own desires, right? Don't you want to be able to wake up without an alarm clock, or take off a random Tuesday and go to the movies with your partner, or travel to Italy or Greece for the weekend, or to a different state if you're based in the US, right? Or read an awesome book while you're sipping on your favorite cocktail? We all want some form of these things, right? So this is a totally legit vision for your life. But based on conversations I had with my clients, I realized that people tend to think that they need to sacrifice a lot, or they need to work 10-hour plus work days for years in order to get there. And because they don't believe it's possible otherwise, they typically don't even attempt to go for it. So they end up staying in a soul-sucking job and staying in this limbo for years where they have the desire and the ambition to be high status or to have freedom, but too scared of sacrificing their current lifestyle, even just for a little while, in order to make it big. And if that's you, you need to understand that there is freedom in structure, but that structure doesn't need to mean withdrawing every little pleasure from yourself in order to live better in the future. And that's not just a mindset trick, by the way. That's literally how structure works. The right business model doesn't steal your time. It buys it back. Likewise, the right offer doesn't chain you to your laptop. It gives you leverage. And the right identity doesn't force you to grind. It pulls you forward, and it almost makes action automatic. But none of that can kick in until you let go of this story that says, I can either have success or I can have peace. Because you can have both. You can create a life where building your vision fuels you instead of draining you. You can work a few focused hours a day, create massive results, and still have time to hit the gym, relax, or go for a walk with your loved one. But that version of you won't show up, but you still believe that success requires struggling. See, that's the old paradigm. That's the employee mindset. You're not here for that. You're here to create on your terms. And to expand a little bit on this idea that there is freedom in structure, I want to emphasize that hard work isn't the problem. It's the labels we put on it. I believe that most people aren't actually scared of effort. They're scared of the emotional weight they've attached to it. They've labeled work as something that steals life instead of something that builds it. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if the real goal wasn't freedom from work, but freedom to do work that matters? I'm talking about the kind of work that's in alignment with your purpose, that plays to your strength, the kind of work that makes other people's lives better just because you showed up. That's what actual freedom looks like. It's not about retiring early and doing nothing. It's about designing your life so that your work becomes an expression of your purpose, not a punishment for having goals. And yeah, there will still be moments that require effort. But when your work is fully aligned with your values, with your vision for your life, those moments will feel like growth and not sacrifice. You'll notice they energize you, they expand you, and you stop fighting with yourself every time you sit down to do something to accomplish the next big milestone on your journey. See, freedom sounds amazing, and it is, until you actually have it and you realize you're still lost. Because without purpose, freedom turns into scrolling and drifting and just wondering why you still feel so empty inside. That's why the goal, in my opinion, isn't just to leave your 9 to 5. Yes, it might be a great first step, but the ultimate goal is to build something you actually care about, something that makes you proud to show up every day. That's what gives your freedom meaning. Now, if you're listening to this and thinking, holy shit, this is me, like this is exactly why I've been stuck so far, then feel free to book a call with me. I'm offering a free growth mapping session where we get clear on what it is that you actually want out of life, not what your parents, what your friends, what society wants from you. Then take a look at your current structure and pinpoint exactly why you're not taking the actions you know you should be taking. It could be that you live in your unconscious agenda. It could be resistance to having wealth or experiencing total freedom, which you may have inherited from your working class parents, for example. It could be many things, frankly. But once we identified what's holding you back, if it makes sense, we will get to work so you can become a superconscious creator who is 100% aligned with their higher purpose. Because once you get there, you'll think of something and you'll just do it without skipping a beat. Not caring about others' opinions, not caring about fear of failure or rejection, just making success the path of least resistance and following that path until you achieve what you want. If that sounds good, hit the link in the description, and I'm looking forward to talking to you soon.